Alt Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, sponsored by Bayou Beat News, BayouBeatNews.com, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. And real quick tidbit, I am KG Chris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, and joining me is my colleague Willie Gibson. I hope to chat with the daughter of Miss Nakia Cooper. Nakia Cooper is a sponsor, owner of Bayou Beat News. It's a supporter of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. But her daughter, Natalie, I believe is her name, Natalie Green, I think it's right, signed with Gallaudet to play basketball, Division III.
Okay.
And yes, if you know about Gallaudet, that is for the hearing impaired. And Natalie hoops, but she, I think she's does not have hearing in one ear and not much hearing in the other ear. So her accomplishments are remarkable. She started playing basketball, Willie, I want to say her freshman year. So 4 years ago.
Wow.
And now she got a Division III scholarship. But this year at Willow Ridge, they're undefeated in district, going to the playoffs again. She's led them and they double. So there's a great story there. So hopefully I'll be speaking with her later in the week to learn more about her story and her plan for college and later in life. But small world, how everything works. But Brother Gibson, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Just pressing forward. I got to keep pressing forward and surround myself with people like you and KP and Nakia who share and support my vision. And those who don't, I'm moving on. I'm not worried about y'all. So, on to the next. But on this edition of the Takeover, as it always is, powered by JM&E, the Takeover is also available via the BS3 Network. You're watching the show right now, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, Roku via the BS3 Network, BS3 TV. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't have it, go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. And on Roku, on the app, you can watch the Takeover shows on demand if you can't watch it live like we'll be doing Thursdays, every Thursday at noon Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Brother Gibson. Okay. February 3rd. Let me go put it on screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm tossing rocks, people. I'm tossing rocks. See this timestamp there. February 3rd in the afternoon. Yahoo Sports, Ross Dellinger. For the first time in its history, the Big 12 will reveal its football schedule, with an on-air broadcast on several of its expanded media platforms. The show will air at 10 a.m. Central Time, Tuesday, February 4th, on ESPNU, FS2, True TV, and be streamed on Max and ESPN Plus. Well, that's important, Will. That's newsworthy. Okay? This is the 30th season of Big 12 football. Also newsworthy. No press release was sent about that. Nothing. No mention of it on the website at big12sports.com. Nothing. What say you about that, to learn that?
That's pretty interesting. Any comment from your mark? I mean, or any?
Well, I probably have to ask Ross Dellinger because apparently he only shares that kind of news with his national buddies rather than us peons locally or whatever, I guess.
That's interesting. I mean, you would think you would want as many of your media partners as possible, not just the ones sharing the content of the schedule at that time. You would think you would want everyone to be aware. Your fan base. I mean, well, clearly Ross made that happen, but yeah, that's pretty interesting that he. I mean, certain things I understand. I don't like, but I understand that, as you said, they have their sources, their mouthpieces, if you will, to get the information out. But something as universal as a schedule release,
yes,
you would think that's something that would be distributed in a press release to all of your media partners.
And it's a thing. I was glad to see it. I happened to read another Big 12 source, and he had it in his newsletter. That's how I learned about it. So I sent it to you and colleagues at the Chronicle and locally here in H-Town and asked them if there was a press release emailed, because sometimes I don't get the football news like I do with the Big 12 basketball and other sports. And to a person, nope, didn't get anything. Nothing was sent. And I'm just shaking my head. So I go to the website, big12sports.com, nothing. And I'm just, you have got to be kidding me. How can you fail at this? This is an important announcement. And I assume that they bought the time, and that's fine too. If you bought the time to be on FS2, ESPNU, True TV, that's fine. That's part of business. Or if you made some exchanges to get it, the schedule release shows on linear TV, that's part of the business. That's fine. But to not have it on the website, to not have it sent to the media that covers your football is a fail. After the schedule was released on the website, they announced, Big 12 has announced their schedule release for the upcoming 2025 season. In the release, Will, is a note about this after the fact.
Wow.
And the timestamp of the release, February 4th, 10 a.m. and 12 seconds. So after the show had already begun on TV.
Wow.
So I'm just like, y'all got to do better. You say you want to be run with the big boys, even though you're not going to catch up to the big boys, but at least behave like it. Behave like you know what you're doing. Behave like a professional product that you are trying to promote to the public. And that's just a fail. And we joked about it, weeks if not months ago, about their FAST channel, the Big 12 inside the Big 12 studios. You search for it and you look for it one way and didn't find it. You had to do what, Big 12 something, and that's how you found it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't what the common sense way you probably look for it to think as a search. That did not come up that way.
Right.
But the little bit I saw of the schedule release show, it looked like it was produced as part of inside the Big 12 studios, studio. And that's fine too. But people, conference, Commissioner Yormark, let your media know about the show, the schedule release. I've been harping on this for 2 years, that if you have football, you know it. It stirs the drink.
Yep.
The other conferences that have their own linear platforms, they have schedule release shows. So I was hoping the Big 12 would do that. When they finally do it, they don't tell anybody about it except Ross Dellinger, Brett McMurphy, their national friends. Okay, well, that doesn't do anything for folks in H-Town,
right?
Folks in Waco,
right?
Folks in Lubbock, Orlando. So, all right. Boulder specifically.
Yeah.
One of your really marquee programs in football. So, okay. I'm done tossing that rock. This is not a rock being tossed. It's Coach Sampson making his point known again. His feelings about the 20-game Big 12 conference schedule. He has mentioned it, discussed it probably since October about the impact of it on non-conference scheduling, about the fact that there is no bye week scheduled into conference play and how it'll impact student athletes, the student welfare. So after Houston's 9-point win over Oklahoma State on Tuesday, Coach Sampson opened up his post-game press conference and got his point across. Check it out, Will.
Before y'all get with y'all's narratives, let me explain something that everybody in the Big 12 is having to go through. We just played our 5th game in 13 days. 3rd straight games with no days off. On Wednesday the 22nd, we played Utah here. That was the snow game. we left on that Friday to fly to Lawrence. Got back 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, then on Sunday, and got back on a plane for a 3-hour flight to West Virginia. And it was 3 hours because of headwinds. So we get to West Virginia on a Tuesday night, played them on a Wednesday night, 14,000. Unbelievable crowd at West Virginia, unbelievable win. Are you kidding me? You got your road trip that week is at Kansas and at West Virginia. And somehow we were fortunate enough to win them both. So now we come back Wednesday night, get back at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Thursday. Thursday's a wash as you're recovering from Kansas game, emotional, West Virginia, emotional, tough game. Then we're playing Texas Tech on Saturday afternoon. And now we turn around and playing Oklahoma State again tonight. That's tough, especially with no days off. You know, what this team needs more than anything else other than get our team back together, get Emmanuel back and get Javier back. What we need more than anything else is rest. We need to rest. You know, finally we get a day off tomorrow, but we got to turn around and fly to Boulder, Colorado on Friday. Everybody in the league gets to it. I'm not complaining. I'm just making sure people are aware of what the Big 12 is going through when they decide to go to 20-game schedule. The difference in 20-game schedule versus 18-game schedule is a bye week. There is no bye weeks. You got 10 grueling weeks with 2 games a week. And the 2 games a week's not the same for everybody. Depends on where you're playing. You know, if you're coming off 2 home games, different than a team that's coming off 2 brutal road games. Everything's it's tough. I was looking at our kids today. We did nothing yesterday. Yeah, we did. We shot free throws, right? All we did was shoot free throws. I mean, we lost on Saturday. Can't do anything. We got to play Tuesday, not Wednesday, Tuesday. So nothing yesterday. But shoot around today, and now you're playing tonight. So great win. This is an awesome win tonight. We're 10-1. We're tied for first place. This team's 18-4. I'm proud of them. You know, when we get Emmanuel back and Javier back, we'll be okay. But being able to find a way to win this game against a team that is as well coached as that team, that plays as hard, as athletic, playing good. They're coming off a great win against Utah on Saturday. They played the hell out of Texas Tech last Wednesday. I think it was a 10-point game. I mean, they've gotten so much better. They don't have a lot to show for it, but they've really, really improved. And you can tell tonight they play good. And that's a credit to their kids and their program. And that coaching staff's done an awesome job with that team.
Go ahead, Chris.
Kelvin, with the 20-game schedule, do you worry about this will wear teams down, particularly the better teams in this conference, going towards March? Is that a concern?
No, because everybody's in the same boat. It's not a complaint. It's just sometimes people have storylines. You don't understand facts. I'm just giving you a fact. And you guys now have a chance to educate people. It's tough. This time of year is tough. That's why it's not about how well did you play, or did they take a step forward, or did they take a step back. That's all BS. It has nothing to do with your team this time of year. Most important thing for us is not to take a step forward. We're not with those guys out. It's just get rest for the stretch run. We got a game. Think about it. We still got to fly to Boulder Friday, play Saturday, turn around and play Baylor here on Monday. I'm not saying it's the Baton Death March, but it's grueling schedule for college kids. But we all have the same issue. Baylor's going to play somebody Saturday, but they got to come here. So for 10 straight weeks, you got 2 games a week, and this conference is vast. Administrators in NCAA quit caring about student athlete welfare a long time ago, man. We know the deal. Nobody cares about that. Nobody. And the emphasis is nobody. That's why you got Provo, Utah, Boulder, Colorado, Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, Orlando, Florida, Charleston, Morgantown, West Virginia. We're all over the place. We're flying, changing 2 or 3 time zones, some of them. Think about that flight from Tucson to Morgantown. That's tough. And those are tough weeks for those teams. And we just did the Lawrence to Houston, Houston to Houston, Lawrence, Houston, Morgantown, West Virginia, back to Houston, and then Texas Tech on Saturday afternoon, turn around and play Oklahoma State on Tuesday night. It's tough. So, but everybody's going through it, so nobody has a disadvantage or advantage, but it is tough. Next year we'll go to an 18-game schedule. So next year when we go to an 18-game schedule, now student-athlete welfare will come into it. But it was up to the powers that be, they wouldn't do it.
Well, what do you think?
I mean, spot on. I mean, yep. I clearly could not have said it better. He's right. I mean, 5 games in 13 days. That's for your student athletes. I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, supposedly. Supposedly your student athletes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, while I was doing that, I was looking because the Ohio State women are in Los Angeles this week. And yes, I meant this week.
Yeah.
Because they left on Tuesday. They played UCLA on Wednesday, and they play USC on Saturday. So they're in Los Angeles for the week. And so that's an 18-game schedule. They played on and they play again. They come back. They play Sunday at USC, and then they play at home against Minnesota on Thursday. So they have those gaps. I think they played on Sunday. They played Washington this past Sunday. They flew to Los Angeles on Tuesday. So I was doing the quick comparison as he was talking, like, okay, what's it look like in the Big Ten? And we have those guys, but it's 18-game schedule, which the Big 12 will have next year. But 5 games in 13 days for a college team. And as he said, the travel.
Right.
Houston to Lawrence back to Houston to Morgantown. When he said Tucson to Morgantown, like, yo, I never considered that, but he's 100% correct. 100%. And then for those that say, oh, it's a PJ, it's a private jet. Well, still, it's time. It's wear and tear on your body.
Right. And folks who don't fly a lot, you touched on this private jet. Flying is still a toll, man.
Yes.
Flying in the air is a toll. Yes. It takes a toll on your body. The more you do it, the more your body, suffers. Being in the air, being confined spaces, all that, the altitude can get to people. All of that is a factor. But I'll flip it around a little bit different. Just think about the smaller conferences who have to bus.
Right.
Like Texas Southern has to, because of the weather impacting them, they had to postpone and reschedule. They had to drive, take the bus to Arkansas to face Pine Bluff.
Wow.
Some years they got to go from there to Tallahassee, Florida, by bus. So driving there in Mississippi State, probably the least funded athletic program in Division I. Got a bus everywhere in conference play. They fly non-conference for the check,
right? Because
those games non-conference help fund their budget,
right?
But come conference play, they're busing everywhere. So the welfare of the student asset. Doggone it! I said it. I didn't mean to say it.
Yes,
The student athlete. I'm sorry, Miss Wanda. Student asset. Oops, I did it again. But Coach Sampson has been campaigning. May not be the right word, but strongly pushing
Advocating.
Thank you, Will. Thank you. Advocating to go back to 18-game conference schedule. And he said it himself because I was going to ask him, Coach, well, what does it look like for next year regarding the schedule? But he answered it for everybody in the room. And it's going back to 18. So that's a good thing. But Will, I'm going to put a bow on everything.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons the Big 12, Commissioner Yormark, pushed for a 20-game conference schedule was to provide more content for their media partners. ESPN, Fox, ESPN Plus. But Will, if you don't notify your public about your content, what good does it do to have all these things?
Right.
So and Commissioner Yormark, you've had some issues with some of the things he's done, and some folks in the Big 12 have, and some of the older traditionalists have as well. But he seems to be forward thinking in terms of marketing and promotion. So to not have the schedule release announced on the website, posted on the website, it's just a fail. I mean, I don't know if they're having a turnover in communications department. I know that, one person retired and she helped me. She got me credentialed to cover the Big 12 years ago. I know she stepped down, but I think her role has been filled, and I'm assuming that they've filled the other spots too. So it doesn't make sense to me how they dropped the ball on this one. Football is your moneymaker. Having a schedule release, yes, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Folks work, so couldn't watch it live, but they could record it, and find out about it. But to not tell them about it, I mean, there are fans who don't know who Ross Dellinger is, Will.
Yes.
So how are they going to know about the schedule release? And I'll say this as well. UH didn't say anything about it. I didn't get anything about it.
Right.
Tune in Tuesday to learn when who the Cougs are playing when. That's just dropping the ball, man.
Big time. Big league.
All right. Let me know if you think Nico Harrison dropped the ball regarding this.
Yes. Big time.
First, let me just back up.
Yeah.
Were you asleep when it was announced? Okay.
Yep. So let me tell you what happened. Real quick. I watched Lakers Knicks Saturday night. And typically, I'll stay up and watch Sports Center or watch post game or do something. I'm like, I'm laying it down. That was a great game. I'm cool. Brian, triple-double in the Garden. I'm out.
Yeah.
So I wake up Sunday morning and I'm getting ready for church, and I look at my phone, and it's like 4 or 5 text messages with the same thing.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. And so the first one I open up is a college friend of mine, been friends 30 plus years. So I look and it says Lakers. I'm like, okay, he got. That's a fake account. I'm just being honest. Shout out to you. I know. I'm like, he got. That's a fake account. And then I scroll and I see it again, and I see it again, and I see it again, and I'm like, let me look at something. So I pull it up independently on my own, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
You've got to be kidding me. So yeah, that was wild.
Yep. Saturday, the Cougs played Tech, lost to Tech by a point in overtime. We did our post-game show. I got back to the house 10 o'clock Central Time, something like that, whatever, late. I dozed off. Okay, I dozed off, but my phone started beeping, and I wake up, and I get a text from my dad, and my dad is a sports fan, but he's not a huge basketball fan. He's more football and other sports.
Right.
And the text message was Luka and LeBron, and what do you think? And I'm come out of sleep.
Right.
And I'm like, huh? What is my dad talking about? Then I'm like, my dad got. So I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
And then I start getting the notifications from the folks I follow, like Shams and Mark Stein. And I saw Shams say, I did not get hacked. This is real.
Right.
And I'm trying to process this. And I'm like, no way, man. No way.
Right. Right.
So it took me till Sunday evening to process it. So let's discuss it. Put it back on the screen.
Yep.
Okay. Utah, yeah, we see what you got. Jalen Hood, Shafino, second round picks.
Yeah.
But Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. The Mavs get AD, Max Christie, and a 2029 first round pick via the Lakers.
Yeah.
Who won that trade?
Oh.
Who won it and why?
Man. Short term or long term?
Give me both.
Yeah. I'm going to say the Lakers because clearly, I mean, you got a 25-year-old global superstar, and I don't want to hear he's out of shape. He's 270. I saw him at his introductory press conference. That didn't look 270 to me.
Right.
Number one,
mm-hmm.
And number two. Okay, let's ride with it. Let's say he is 270. Well, at 270, he's giving you 28, 9, and 9, out of shape, allegedly.
Yeah. Right.
And my thought was, like one of the number of thoughts I had after I saw the trade, like, well, LeBron's his idol. And if he can watch what LeBron does to take care of his body and get in the lab with LeBron, if he's supposedly out of shape now, what's he going to do when he gets in shape?
Right.
So, but I mean, Luka, like I said, 25-year-old global superstar that's giving you 28, 9, and 9, out of shape, allegedly. And then, I mean, I hate to see the Lakers give up on Max Christie. I understand the numbers needed to match and work. But, I mean, I think Luka, they set Rob Pelinka, kudos to him. He set the Lakers up. They have their next superstar for the next 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Period. So that alone, I mean, AD is AD. He's giving you 25 and 12. Here's the caveat. When he's healthy. He didn't play in the first game with Dallas after the trade because he's not healthy.
Right.
So, I mean, I wish he was. This is not casting aspersions on him, but and then the Lakers won the trade because Nico Harrison could have gotten so much more.
Yeah, back at it.
Oh my god! I mean,
just one pick. That's one person.
Right. Luka's a 5-pick. That's a 5-pick deal.
Right.
Big swaps, 3 number ones, 2 players, 3 number ones, 2 and a pick. How does he get away with only 1 first round pick? How?
Yep. That's it. That's and it goes to me, and we're near the bottom of the hour, so play the promo for BS3. But think about this. I'm gonna toss it out, and you let me know if you agree with it. That trade opened up the eyes of other GMs and other owners in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
One, see, it only takes one. One GM set on getting his player, his guy, would take less on the dollar to get that player.
Yep.
Other GMs be like, well, I'm not doing that kind of deal, so don't even try it.
Right.
So I'm not the one. You want that call,
Right.
go, because I'm not the one.
Right.
But think about that. Give me your answers on it. Bottom of the hour, you're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by BayouBeatNews.com, powered by JM&E, streaming live on the BS3 Network. And here is a promo of what BS3 Network is all about. Willie Gibson and I will be back in 35 seconds. You're watching the Takeover, sponsored by Bayou Beat News.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by Bayou Beat News, BayouBeatNews.com, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. I am KG Chris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, and joining me is my colleague, my brother, Willie Gibson in Ohio. First half, last few minutes, we're talking about the trade that rocked the NBA. Heck, we could argue rocked the sports world.
Yes.
Luka Doncic going from the Mavs to the Lakers. And just for that, AD, Max Christie, and 1 first-round pick. Willie Gibson, you are a GM, you're an owner. Pick the hat you want to wear.
Oh, I'm a GM.
So who you calling? Like, Nico, you got anybody else you want to give away like that? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, I'm calling Kyrie. What's it going to take for Kyrie? If you're giving away Luka, might as well call for Kyrie.
So, I mean, the plan, and Nico said, defense wins championships. You know me long enough. I kind of agree with that. Yeah. But I'm not going to give up on a 25-year-old top 5 player in the world because he doesn't play great defense.
But let me ask you this. Where did the Mavericks end up last year?
I thought it was the finals. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. And did Luka play defense there?
It was better than in previous years. Yeah.
But he was in the finals.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. But all right, Nico. Okay.
And you could argue he's not a great matchup for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Okay.
Who is?
Get other guys that are to take that load off Luka.
I watched Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown played against Tuesday night to play the Cavs. They weren't a good matchup for the Cavs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So his answer for it, his rationale is interesting. He acknowledges that if it blows up, it'll be on him. He'll be out of a job. I think we all agree on that.
Yeah.
And the window has shrunk for them to win the chip. AD is, as you said, 25 and 12. But he's older than Luka.
6 years.
7 years, yeah. My major concern with Luka is he's been a pro for so long, playing pro ball overseas. Like he was 15? I think that's right.
13, yeah.
14 to 15. So he's been a pro for a long time. So a lot of wear and tear on his body. I hope he does learn from LeBron and how to take better care of his body. I don't care because Luka's 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
It's not like he's 6'5", so he might be 250. Braun is like 250. You know what I'm saying? So just gotta tighten up the body, lower the body fat percentage, and as you said, point blank, so beautifully, 28.99, and he wasn't in shape, or supposed so y'all say, not in condition. Okay, and y'all gave that away for. Once again, that's what y'all gave it away for. 2 players and 1 pick.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy Gobert got how much? In the trade for him?
Like 4 picks for him? Wow. Hey, I'll tell you what. I told a friend of mine Monday, now I want to see Lakers Mavericks first round. I really do.
Oh, no. Oh, yes, no doubt. So does whoever it is, ESPN or TNT, whoever. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no question.
Adam Silver, too. Oh, yeah, no doubt. No question. And in spite of their flaws prior to the trade, the Lakers are still 29-19.
Yep.
Okay, they're in the 5th spot. They're not a perfect team, but they're 29-19. I mean, people, they might make some noise now in the playoffs. You need probably, they're going to have to defend different. They don't have size up front. They don't have a shot block, all the kind of things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yet. There you go. Yet.
Yeah.
So, boy, to acquire a top 5 player for almost nothing. AD's not nothing, but I mean, 1 pick and 2 players. Woo.
And,
Well,
and if you look at, I'm not sure if you've seen it, Rob Pelinka's press release. He talked in the press release the Lakers sent out to announce the trade. He talked about Luka is a global superstar.
Yes.
Global superstar. And I understand you wanted AD, and that's the part. Nico initiated this by sitting down with Pelinka because he wants AD. That's the thing. The Lakers didn't call about Luka. Yep. Nico called about AD and offered Luka. And it's like, man, you could have got the 31 pick. You could have got
Austin Reeves.
Right. I'm trying to Nico.
You know,
and then Danny Ainge. For me to hear Danny Ainge, I don't know if you heard this. I don't know how I feel. I'm on one side, I don't believe it. But for Danny Ainge to say, I didn't know it was helping the Lakers, how do you participate in the trade, agree to participate in the trade, and you not know the details?
Right.
And then you say, well, I only had 30 minutes. By that time, I finally figured out it was the Lakers. Like, I question that. I call cap.
Yeah, come on, Danny. I mean, Piston fans years ago, Danny Ainge is dead forever because he helped get Rasheed Wallace to the Pistons for basically nothing. So, maybe he didn't know about that one either. Right. Who knows? But Nico, it's just the most glaring example of when a general manager or a person, a decision maker, locks in on one particular person.
Yep.
Period. Get the tunnel vision. I gotta have that person.
Yep.
Period. Because they could have got better offers from other teams. There's no doubt, no question.
Okay, see, that's what, like 31 picks over the next 7 drafts or something. Wow.
So okay, all right.
And then it was damage control. They start putting it out. Well, Luka's out of shape. He's 270. Well, he wouldn't sign the Supermax. Luka squashed all that in his opener. He's like, I never said that.
Yep.
Never said, nobody in my circle said that I wouldn't sign the Supermax. So now what?
Kind of say the same thing about Jalen Brunson. But anyway. And think about, yes, folks, if you had forgotten, the Mavs at one point had Luka, Jalen Brunson, and Kristaps Porzingis as teammates. Woo, boy. Okay. On a in comparison, this deal is nothing. I mean, now it's nothing. Sacramento trading De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs in a 3-team deal. But look at all those picks the Kings getting.
All of them.
All of that.
I need all
plus
of mine.
Zach LaVine.
Right.
Man. Who won this one in your opinion?
Sacramento, clearly. I mean, look at the 3-1s, 3-2s, and then they flipped cities for Valanciunas.
Yep.
Yeah, so clearly Sacramento won. Kudos. That's your guy from Houston, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Monty, yeah.
Kudos to him.
It's interesting how he's worked the transactions and his previous boss. Well, let's see. Do I have that one? No, I don't think I do. I think I do. Let me put that one. Here it is. This one. Yeah. Quinn Grimes. This one here, Nico, I'm questioning as well. I don't know. And Caleb Martin is he puts up better numbers in the playoffs. Okay, he's all right, or as some folks say, he's all right.
Yeah.
But Quinn Grimes is younger. Quinn Grimes better player, better shooter, better two-way player. Q wanted more money. I know that.
Yeah.
Got the Cougar ties. I know Quinn wanted more money. And he has a great chance to be with Tyrese Maxey. And if Daryl Morey, steps up and agrees to what Quinn looking for, he could be a Sixer for a long time. But that trade, from the Mavs perspective, I'm like, I don't know about that one either. So
right.
Whatever his plan is, I'm not sure what it is. I mean, it's supposed to be about defense, and Quentin Grimes is one of the better perimeter defenders the Mavs had.
Right.
But all right, this one. Thoughts on this one?
I think this was a deal to get Milwaukee under the second apron.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, because Chris Middleton has like a $34 million player option for next year, which
he will exercise.
He should exercise.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that, I mean, kudos for the Bucks to be able to get under the apron. So, we'll see. But as I told someone earlier today, Doc Rivers is still the coach.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yep. And Kuzma's contract salary declines.
Yep.
By like $2 million a year for another year or two. So it's a great trade, great contract for the Bucks.
Yep.
Do you agree that trading Middleton away eliminates the Bucks' title chances with Kuzma instead?
No, I think I don't know that the Bucks had title.
I was going to say, or does Doc Rivers as head coach?
I was trying not to say that. Really, you saw the wheel. You saw the wheels. Yeah. That's pretty much. Yep. Yeah.
So, and other deals have been reported. They have not been announced by the NBA. Only one that's been announced was Daniel Tice going from New Orleans to OKC because New Orleans wanted to avoid paying luxury tax. Like they have never done that in the history of the franchise. They want to do that. Gave OKC. OKC got like another pick along with Tice. Man,
Wow.
I mean, Sam Presti, salute, my man, because you got a great team, young core, and 8,000 picks, to use in the future to acquire somebody who you think will help get you over the hump. If you don't get over the hump, as the roster is currently constructed, and they're the best team in the West right now. So who knows how that's all going to play out? Well, Rockets have lost 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Reportedly acquired Jaden Springer from Boston. It's another apron move for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been announced because as we're doing this, because it might be tied to other deals.
Okay.
Like Detroit and KJ Martin going from Philly to Detroit.
Yeah.
KJ might be headed elsewhere. Detroit got 2 picks and KJ for cash. That's all Detroit gave up because they had the room. They had the exception, the room under the cap, and open roster spot. So it's a question of what Detroit's going to use to obtain KJ Martin. He's not going to play. I don't see minutes for him there, so it might be better. His dad might say, "Oh no, I don't want that at all. My son needs to get minutes." He might, speak up from his chest and try to push his son elsewhere.
Yep.
But the 2 elephants in the room we have not discussed yet in these final moments of this edition of the Takeover.
Yep.
Sponsored by Bayou Beat News. Kevin Durant, one. We'll save Mr. Buckets for next. Kevin Durant, the Warriors. I guess the Luka deal changed their line of thinking.
Yeah.
Because last week, Steph, Draymond, Steve Kerr, Mike Dunleavy, we don't want to mortgage the future just for a quick fix this year.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, the Warriors are rumored to want Jimmy Butler. They want to get involved with KD.
Yeah.
What's up with all that, Will?
Desperation. I think it's a Band-Aid because they chose wrong last year. And this is my opinion. Mm-hmm. I believe they chose wrong. They should have kept Clay and let Draymond go.
Fair enough.
That's just me. But now they see, okay, and they've been calling everybody, as you said, they've been trying to get in on everybody. Jimmy. From what reports, Brian Windhorst said Jimmy refused to sign an extension with them, so they stopped talks with him. And they did this thing with KD came out, and I saw reports where KD said, "I don't want to go back there."
Yep.
So it's like that has to be humbling for that franchise, for that ownership group, for that front office that nobody wants to come there. And, the 4-time champions.
The window's closed, Will.
Yeah.
The window was closed. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think they're last to know because nobody wants to go there. Nobody. KD, who won 2 titles there?
Yep.
Nah, I'm good. No, Jimmy, no, I'm not signing an extension here. So they thought they could somehow, Luka's in LA. Maybe LeBron will waive his no trade clause and come here. Nah,
Nope.
no. So I think it's a wake up call and a reality check for that franchise to say, man, we're not sweet as we thought we were.
And it sounds like KD might still be traded.
Yep.
I wonder where.
The word I heard was Miami,
which is interesting.
Very interesting.
But I think he will be. I'll say it like this. The NBA sends out schedule updates.
Yep.
For the TV, changing to the TV schedule.
Yep.
Got an email saying that the Utah at Phoenix game for Friday will no longer be televised.
Yep.
Yep.
Wonder why.
I wonder why.
And did you see the Saturday game that's coming on now? It's the Lakers and the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why. Wonder why they're showing that game. Lakers and Pacers on a Saturday night. Yeah.
So we're putting those things out there. Yes, folks. Willie Gibson and we do receive national news.
Yep.
I'm gonna toss a pebble, Will.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Commissioner, your mark. Mr. Gibson and I do receive national news from big leagues like the NBA. So you can talk to us as well as Mr. Dellinger with Yahoo Sports. We do have audiences as well. Just put it out there. Okay. These closing moments. Give me your prediction. And I'll say this, put it out there. A.D. Moore, our colleague, New Orleans, covering the big game. We'll have shows, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, etc. You can follow him. I think I have AD stuff here. Let me see here if I have it. I hope I do. If not, that's a fail on my part. I do all that bashing of Radio Mark. There we go. I passed it up. Right there. You can follow him and get some insight and info while he's in New Orleans for the big game. But Mr. Gibson.
Yes, sir.
Who's going to win?
I want to say the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win.
Why?
Running
back? Saquon?
Well, no, I think it's more so a couple things. One, the Chiefs have been getting by the hairs of their chinny chin chin all season long.
Not because of the refs. Oops, sorry.
You said that. I didn't say that. However, I think it may finally catch up with them. I think 2, Jalen Hurts, the last time they played 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, was clearly the best player on the field. I think he threw for like 340, ran for multiple touchdowns, but Kansas City won, and lo and behold, he wasn't named MVP. I think although Saquon has carried that team throughout the season, I think Jalen Hurts has had to listen to the naysayers for far too long. I think he steps up his game on Sunday, plays a phenomenal game, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles win. And their defensive stalwart, Brandon Graham, announced earlier this week that Sunday will be his final game. And I think they really want to send their vet out on top. And as much as I'm not a fan of the Eagles, not much, as I'm even less of a fan of Nick Sirianni, I think they're going to win.
That's fair. And I'm not a fan of the Eagles, but they do represent the NFC East. So I will acknowledge them, the Giants, and of course my team. I won't acknowledge the other team, even though they're part of the NFC East too. But
Come on now.
I just can't. I can't. Whatever. So I'm enjoying their struggles. As long as Jerry Jones is GM of the team, go ahead, Jerry. Keep running him into the ground. Keep doing what you're doing. Mr. Gibson, final moments. You had some Browns news.
Yeah.
In the week.
Yeah. Myles Garrett has requested a trade. Not really a shock to those around the building because he actually alluded to that late in the season. I believe it was after the Baltimore game in Baltimore. He kind of it's been bubbling. It's been brewing for a while. And he's just, after 8 years, he's not willing to wait for this team to rebuild. He doesn't want to be a part of a rebuild. The Deshaun Watson debacle trade is clearly finally seen its last legs, perhaps, reportedly. I'll put a pin there. But, he's just, after 8 years, and, he's done everything individually in this game, pretty much that you can do. Defensive Player of the Year, 4 straight years of 14-plus sacks, first player in NFL history to have 100 sacks before age 30. He wants to win. Mm-hmm. And if you look at his comment, his statement, he said, my goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. Canton is where the Pro Football Hall of Fame is. My goal was never to go straight from Cleveland to Canton. My goal was to win championships. Now, that was a direct shot at general manager Andrew Berry. He'll never admit it publicly, but in his end of season press conference, Andrew Berry mentioned that Myles Garrett will retire as a Cleveland Brown. He has a direct ticket from Cleveland to Canton. So to see that worded that way in that statement, it was like, oh, okay. A little shot, shot. As you say, a little pebble was tossed. And that's not to say a bad relationship. AB and Myles have a great relationship. I think it's just after 8 years, he just made his feelings known that, I don't want to be a part of a rebuild. And I saw he was interviewed on Radio Row this week for the Super Bowl, and they asked him who he spoke with. And he said, I spoke with my circle, my parents, my sister, my agent, my marketing team, and direct quote from him, a Cleveland native, Akron native. They were like, oh, you spoke to LeBron? And he said, yeah. And he said, LeBron just told him, what it was like, what it would take, follow his heart, things like that, do what he needed to do for himself and his family. So that was interesting that he spoke to LeBron. And, people in Northeast Ohio and Cleveland probably didn't want to hear that. But seeing that LeBron's left twice. But, I think it's, kudos to him. And, for those who say, the Browns, he owes the Browns. He has 2 years left on this deal, non-guaranteed money. I think it's a total of like $40 million left on this deal. Hopefully, his intent, his goal, his desire is to go to a contender. Let me back up.
Yes, sir.
November, around the trade deadline in NFL last season, we talked about Zadarius Smith being traded to the Detroit Lions.
Right, you got that right.
Talked about that a few days before it became public. Well, they actually called about Myles Garrett. And kind of as a sacrificial lamb, so to speak, the Cleveland Browns offered Zadarius Smith. So they took him. So you may want to watch for the Detroit Lions. I'll just, that may be I'm sure 31 teams in the league are going to call about Myles Garrett, but it'd be interesting to see what the Lions do. They have the cap space. He has 2 years left on his deal, total of $40 million. You'll probably have to extend him. which, and so, and then again, by the way, Cleveland's already come out and said, we're not trading him. Myles will be back. And then we'll see how that goes. They've made it clear they don't want to trade him. But as offers begin to come in, and, we'll see how messy Myles wants to make this. I mean, he pretty much can make it as messy as he wants it in order to accomplish his goal of being traded. He just wants to play for a contender. He's been in Cleveland 8 years, giving his team all that he does, and off the court, off the field. Freudian slip in the best way, because he's also a minority shareholder of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay.
So that'll be interesting how that works as well. But, kudos to him. I've had nothing but pleasant interactions with Myles. Been nothing but fair with me. I've never seen, had a negative interaction with him. So I wish him the best. However this turns out, hopefully it turns out, for the best for he and his family.
Thank you, brother. That's great insight. He is Willie Gibson, and I am KG, Brother Gibson. The floor, the world is yours.
All right, Nas. But thank you, as always, for the opportunity. I'm Mr. Cross States there on X. You can find me at Will Gibson 7. Facebook, Will Knows. IG and Threads, Will Knows Sports.
And I am KG, Chris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review. You have been watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, as always, to Brother Gibson for his time and insight. Thank you as well to BayouBeatNews.com for sponsoring and supporting the show. Bayou Beat News, bringing that Southern love to your daily news coverage. This is a great show. Really appreciate you and your insight, as always, my man.
Thank you, sir.
We will probably discuss a few things off air.
Absolutely.
But as always, everybody, subscribe to the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Spread the word about the takeover. Spread the word about Willie Gibson, his knowledge. Spread the word about my knowledge. We've been doing this a long time. We are credentialed to cover sports. And as always, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Y'all take care. Peace.